Good evening and welcome back. Okay, so I'm back on Streamlabs OBS. That updated and it's working again. But I'm still dropping frames, so I'm not sure what the issue is. And for some reason I'm really loud. Let's tune that down slightly. Hope that I'm not too quiet now. Sorry about that. So, okay. Let's jump in here and see if the changes we made yesterday help a bit, and then jump back into the experimentation level and see what we can do there. So let's resume, not this. Okay, so for some reason the mic is too close to the speakers, so that it's picking up the music, but hope that's isn't an issue for you. So let's have a look. So she should be going to work at 9, so let's check that. Yep. So the schedule works, but now she's stopped there. No idea why. Because she should just walk on to this building over here. To a shop. So, not sure what the issue is. Okay, so she walked a bit further now. Interesting. Okay, so now she's running around in there. Okay, good. These two are kind of stuck on one waypoint, I think. So I might need to check their waypoints and see if that's an issue. Yeah, the frame rate is horrible and it's dropping frames like crazy. And another thing is my upload is really strange. It's jumping like crazy as well. So, not sure what the issue is there. And now we're doing something that would cause this to stutter a bit, but that's not the issue. It's something else, that something is running in the background that's kind of killing this for me. Not quite sure what it is. Whoops. Yeah, now she's just standing there again. I really don't understand what the issue is. Okay, let's see. What kind of errors did we have here? Rotate to point. Access none. Something on rotate to point is none. Let's open up the behavior tree. So the scene actor here, let's just remove those, because they do not function anyway, so we don't need to call that. So look, does this save game work? Okay, let me try to do something here. So let's kill that and see if this helps with my frames. Let's close all these. Okay. What's running here and causing those issues? Chrome is running, but the problem is I can't close Chrome completely. Because I need that open for the stream. But it's still dropping 25% of all frames, so that's not a good thing. And my upload rate is going crazy. It's jumping between 0 and 10,000, 4,000 kilobytes per second. So I have no idea what the issue is there. Hello, how are you today? Okay. No, damn it. That's not good. Okay, so I have no idea what the issue is. I'm not doing anything. There's almost nothing running in the background, but it's still going crazy. And I'm dropping fourth of my frames, 25%. So, no idea what the issue is there. Okay, let's switch level and try to get something done. Better Twitch TV, yeah. It's a browser extension that helps you highlight stuff and use specific emotes and stuff like that. But I'm using another plugin that's doing basically the same. Just check something here real quick. Yeah, as you can see here, this looks horrible. And this shouldn't be the case, so my bitrate is completely jumping all over the place. Not sure why. Load loaded level here. What did I call it? AI tests. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to do today? Yesterday I've kind of fixed the perception, but I looked up a few things for the basically next step in AI perception, which would be this, which would be the environment query system. And to go through this and see if we can do that. I think it's already enabled. We have enough mesh. But then I need to create a few things here. So Let's see. We already have the controller and we have the behavior tree. We are blackboard. We need an environment query. Okay, we need to change anything here. No, not really. Should be set up like that already. Then okay, here in that example we have the AI fleeing from the player, basically hiding and fleeing. So okay, we are doing this already with our blueprint. But then, okay, here we need to do something else. So we need to run the EQS query. And then we need to create specific queries for that. Okay. So on the item space. Players pause context. Let's have a look at that. Have that in here already. Let's pick it up. Okay, it looks like we need to create that. So I missed a step somewhere. Okay, so we need to create this query context. Okay, so let's do these. Let's just go here. Let's create a new folder for that. And then we need the environment query. Let's find player. And okay, just play around with this a bit, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's see. This is our AI character. So look at that. So we need the. I'm just moving this to another monitor so you can see it and check at the same time. So our character. Let's see, character movement. Okay, they changed a few things in character movement here, but I'm not sure if I want to change those. Apart from the fact that there are different values here that we have. So in the kind of tutorial documentation, it says movement capabilities, and here we have the nav mesh movement, and I'm not seeing the nav agent radius here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it's there, but it's under nav movement. So a few things changed since the documentation, which can be confusing. So let's see. Let's change that slightly. And let's have a look. What do we have for speed here? So max walk speed. Oh, okay, so this is a lot slower than what they are using here. But okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just keep my values because I like the speed my characters move in. So we need a new blackboard and behavior tree for this. And let's add a new key. That's an object. Let's create an object. Okay. It's player actor. And here we can set our first person character. And let's also do a location. Save that. And let's close that. Open up this. I have no idea why this is using the wrong thing here, so let's clear that. Why do we have okay, so because I set the wrong thing here. Now it's working. Okay, good. Okay, and here we want sequence, and we want to have to run that. There we have the find player. Save that. And let's change this here. And we also need, let's just do the find hiding spot. Let's also create a few things in here. Let's just, no, let's do it like that. Basic, let's add a few boxes in here. Just so that we have a few obstacles. And actual spots for the players, for the AI to hide at. Okay, let's go here. Oh, we also need to create another query, which would be find hiding spot. And then we can create another task here. We want to find the hiding spot, and then we want to move to the location to move to. And a decorator here, and that's a cooldown. Okay. So the next step is creating the player context. Problem is I have no idea where that is, because it wasn't in here. It's overwriting a function and cannot find the right function in here. So it could be in here? No. Because here we don't have any functions or anything. So do we need to create something here? very context. Okay. It's the player context. Okay, that's the right thing. Then we need the provide actor set here. And here we need to get all actors of class. And we want our first person character here. Should always be one of them in here, but seems to need it like that. So let's open our find player. Okay, so we want actors of class. Oh, and here we can set the context, player context. And I need to take a short break. No, I don't need to do that. Okay, I'm still dropping frames like crazy, but like I said earlier, nothing I can do about that. Okay, so here we are setting the player context from earlier. And we can change search radius here. Let's connect this here. Searched actor class would be our first person character. Wait, no, I think I did something wrong here. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just figuring out what they are doing here, but they are not doing this. They do something else here. So let's reset this. Actors of class. And then set the first person character in here. Change this. Okay. And now we need to add a test. And that's a trace. Trace carrier on visibility. And we don't want bool match. Query not hit. And looks like that's all we need for this one. So save that. And the next one is supposed to be a bit more complicated. So let's open this up. So this is points grid. Okay, then they change the grid size. Okay, here we have the grid size in the tutorial, but here it's grid half size. So let's change this here a bit. Default area. Okay. Okay, and then we need to add some things in here. The first is distance. And oh, we need two distance tests. Okay. Okay, the first one. Here we need the player context. Set the score only. And the rest should be fine. So score only. And we want inverse linear. And factor of 2. Okay, so the next one is this. Is this still? So now we need two traces. Okay, so now it changed to player context. Okay. And here we also need to change this to player context. And then we add another test, which is a dot. There we go into the details, and here we change a few things. So line A is the player context. Line B is a line from the player context to the item. Then we have the absolute value, and we want the score only. And here we want a -1. And let's see. We also need to add a pathfinding test. This score only. And that's all we need for that. Just strange. Because here we have a linear, a bool match, and a scoring factor of 1. So there definitely changed a few things in the system, and it's not in the documentation. So I'm not 100% sure if this works the way it's supposed to. So let's see. Okay, so they should find a hiding spot, but they are not doing anything. Why are they not doing anything? Should use the right behavior tree here. Okay, so they don't do anything. Very strange. Okay, so for some reason we can't do the AI debugging when the player is in here. So we need to simulate, but when we simulate, I don't have the player in here, so how the hell would that work? So let's check something here. What is my AI controller doing? So the AI controller should use the current blackboard and should use the current and then should run the current behavior tree. And if I go for the character here, so the current behavior tree and current blackboard we are setting here. So that should work, but it isn't. Because it looks like they still have the old behavior tree on them, because they're not doing anything. I mean, okay, they are not doing anything because they just standing around, but let's try something here. Let's just come on. Yeah, gives me saw player and it's completely ignoring the EQS system that we just set up. Let's remove this. Let's see if that might be the issue. Okay, so nothing happens. They're just standing around and stare straight ahead and do nothing. So that didn't work. So did I not set this up correctly? Okay, so here we have definitely issues. So this should be 1, and here I didn't set up anything, so I think this might have been the issue, that this is not set up. I think this is also not set up properly here, so because I just didn't read. Select one of the trace tests in the detail. Change context to player context. Okay, the other trace doesn't need to be set up for anything. So we can just keep it like that. Okay. Let's have a look here. This is set to rotation, player context. Then line from this player context. I'm not sure if this is item or query. Let's set this to query. Yeah, let's set this to query. And absolute value is true. Score only. And scoring factor is -1. Okay, so next thing is the path finding node, and here we have an issue because I can't set the scoring equation to be linear. So let's remove that and see maybe, no, damn it. Remove that. See, maybe I added the wrong thing. But no, that's pathfinding. Okay. Test purpose is score only. Path exists. And I haven't changed anything here. Okay. Let's have a look. See if this changes anything now. No. Can still just run around them and nothing is happening. We don't get any errors. Nothing. Did I save this? Go through all of this and save it. Try this again. Nope. Okay. Let's check something here. Environment query system is ticked, so that should work, but apparently the tutorial or quick start here doesn't work like it's supposed to. So no idea why we get that issue. Or basically get nothing. Maybe we should change this to player actor and this to location to move to. That might help. Let's try this again. Ah, okay. Okay, so now it's trying to find a hiding spot. She should as well. But she's just ignoring us. Yeah. It happens sometimes. Maybe she's confused because the system might only work with one character in the scene. So I'm not sure, but that wouldn't make sense. Gotcha. So but it's a bit strange because he shouldn't move towards us. I mean, we are definitely faster than him, so that's an issue. Can I change movement component here? Yeah, I can do that. So let's set the speed to 400. Basically double the speed they can move at. Okay, now it's running away. But it shouldn't run towards us, so there are a few issues with this as well. And she's still ignoring us. He's trying to hide, so it kind of works now. At least for him. Not so much for her. So let's try something else. Let's just remove him from here and see if she's doing it now. Nope, she's still ignoring us. So, no idea what the issue is with her. Let's add him back in. Maybe give her a hiding spot somewhere here. Okay, now she's doing something. I think it was the issue that we came from a location where there wasn't any hiding spot. And that's why she didn't do anything. Not sure why she is not going in this direction. Okay, now she is. So they should both be over here and try to hide. I'm not sure why he's running towards us sometimes. Okay, but the system works. Now that's a good thing. Now I just need to figure out how to change it to something that I can use for my AI setup. So so the first part is we can just keep like that. The second part I want to change. Let's see. So let's go through this again. What does all that do? So we have a radius of 1000. That's okay. And we want the distance to that. Okay, so items further from the player get a higher score for the first one. And the second one gives higher score closer to the AI, a higher score. And since we set the scoring factor to 2, this is more important than the first one. Okay. And then we want trace. And here we are basically checking, is the player visible or not? So this is distance testing, this is trace testing. Okay, that's good. I understand those. I think this we might need to change. If I want the AI to not run away from the player but get closer to the player. Or Yeah, get a bit closer to the player. So let's see. So if I set this to 1, what does it change? Okay, it doesn't change much. Okay, I mean, we could just do it here and basically add the rest to the whole system, but I don't want to do that now. Just open this. Is that set? Okay. I could do this, and then if we get close to the line of sight, then it could do something like that, but not run away from the player, but get closer to the player. So I need to figure out a way to get that done. Let's just try that. Let's see what that changed. Okay, so he's not running away that far now. No. No, not really. So let's have a look what the rest of the system does. Hmm. So I have a big problem with the system because the only thing that's available is the documentation. And the documentation is a bit outdated in some cases. And I looked up tutorials for EQS and I couldn't really find anything with it. Found one tutorial, but it was basically the same thing that the quick start is doing. It's finding a hiding spot and run away from the player. So I'm not sure if the system is used somewhere. And because I really cannot find anything about that. So how I would do specific things with it, because so far I have no idea what this is doing here, basically. I mean, I can see, okay, this is the distance to the player, to the querier. This is visibility tests. This is a dot product. And this is giving me a pass, basically. So I'm not 100% sure. Basically how to change that. Because the simple thing, I'll call it simple thing that I want to do is not have him run away from us, but come towards us. But I have no idea where I would set this in here. Maybe I just don't know what the dot project is doing. Or maybe the traces are set up in a way that I did them wrongly. I don't know. Or maybe it's something here that I need to set up. Because if I look in here, then this is giving me the location to move to. And I mean, okay, it's easier to get to the player if I'm just moving to the player once I find him, but I want this to be slightly different. I want them to move towards us with a specific distance and then stop there. Not sure if I can do this easily in here, because on my old behavior tree in here, when they see us, they just stop. They are not doing anything. And I can't even make them rotate towards the player because that's just not working with my own task that I created and with the standard task that's in here. What's it called? Rotate to face BB entry. And if I set this to the scene actor, that just doesn't work. So if I set this to the villager again, run this, they're not doing anything. They're not looking at us if we are close. And another thing that's really strange is the fact that his clothing changes color. Which doesn't make sense at all. Okay, now they're completely ignoring us. Awesome. Yeah, they're just completely ignoring the player, you know. Hmm. Oh, I know what the issue is. Huh. I know why we are being ignored because I removed a component here. Makes complete sense. This was set like that. They can't see us and they couldn't see us anymore, so that made sense. So let's add this back in here. I need this to run here. And then we need this and get currently perceived actors. Now they have their sensors back, which I removed earlier. So I wanted to test out the other system. Sorry. I need to take some medication. So now let's see what's happening. If we get close enough. Okay. He's not stopping. And we also don't get this down here. So let's see. Blackboard, scene actor. connected. This is connected here. But this is not called. So let's have a look. And here, that's it. Yeah, I mean, here this should run and work. But apparently this doesn't work anymore for some reason. Yep, they are not seeing us anymore. Okay. I have no idea why this is not working. Oh man. Set line of sight. This line of sight is true here. And the first person character should also be there. Did I also remove the sense from here? I did. Okay, that also makes complete sense that we don't. But we are not recognized. No, it is here. So that's not it. It's auto registering, and we have this set to side. Set that. Maybe that's the issue. Yeah, that's the issue. Okay. Just need to wait for them to walk around again, and then we can test this a bit more. But the EQS system, like I said, I have no idea how to set this up properly. So I will try to get it done with sight and the basic behavior tree system. Okay, so now she saw us. If we walk away, she's still standing there. And he's ignoring us now. No, now he's standing still here as well. So, the system's still broken. Yeah, the issue was that when this is false, we are not setting a specific state so that they're ignoring the whole thing again. So yeah, I also need to figure out my whole system here, because it has some issues. Because I'm setting specific states here, and in some cases it works, in other cases it doesn't work properly. Well, let me try something here, because I have this change state, and if I kind of save the previous state, before we see the player, and then go in here, wait for a moment, and then return back to that state. Maybe that works, but I'm not 100% sure how to save that. Let's have a look in here. So once we do the vision check, and we do this, Yeah, we can set a state here. So let's go into the blackboard here. And create a new enum, and let's call this previous state. Not previous state, but previous state. And I think that's NPC state, right? Yeah. Okay, and then here I want to put a copy of that. Previous state key. And once we see the player, we set the blackboard value as enum, and for the previous state key, and the value is our current state key. So get blackboard value as enum, and that's our current state key. And then in here, I want to create a new task. Yeah, I'm having change state. And let's do a duplicate of that. Call it change to previous. State. And in here, I want the don't need the new state. Let's delete that. But we need the previous state. Previous state key here. And then we can set the value there. Same thing back here. Even though why is it not? Why is it converting that? Let's see. Did I not set it correctly? No, it should be. It should be enum and npc state. Okay. Let's see if that works. Or if it's doing anything at all. Change to previous state. So let's wait 2 seconds here. Save that and see if this is working. We just need to wait for them to have the right time so that they are doing anything, and then we can try it. Okay, so at least he is ignoring us. Okay, so what was her? Is she doing anything? Okay, so that didn't work. I think I know why it's not working, because when we are standing in front of them, we are setting the previous state to cease player. If we are standing there on the next tick, or next AI tick. and then it breaks the whole system. That's not good. So I mean, we can change that. So we can add another check here. So if this is already C's player, then we don't want to do anything. Okay, there's something not really working here. Because I'm getting the byte values, which is not correct. Should be equal to an enum. So if that's, well, okay, let's move this here. Let's copy that over here. Connect here because it confuses me otherwise. Okay, so we go in here. And if this is C's player, you want to do that. If it is C's player, then we want to do the check back here. So if it's not C's player, then we want to change the state. Otherwise, just do the rest. So that only a different state would be saved here. So let's try that. Let's see if that helps. And then I need to look into this issue that the colors are changing. Because, I mean, it's not important at all, but it annoys me. Okay, she's ignoring us again. And okay, so now he's standing here. And let's just wait a moment and see what's happening. Nothing. Wait, who's seeing us at the moment? Hell? Oh. That's not good. Apparently he has eyes on the back of his head. Okay, did I not set this up properly? Oh. Oh, I see. I see an issue. These are flipped. So the pink should be on the outside and the green on the inside. So I set something up completely wrong in this one. So but they still shouldn't see someone behind them. Yeah, no, but okay, this is definitely set up wrong. So. And we also get issues here. Probably because we cannot find the get player character. Okay, that's the controller and the perception. Yeah, this should be like that. Flip those. This is what it should look like. So at the behavior tree here. Okay, so now he's patrolling around. Is he still changing his clothing color? No, he isn't. Okay, so that was something different. Oh, we also need to change the time here, because they saved the age way too long for this, so let's also change that. Save that for 2 seconds. Okay, I think I know what's happening with our clothing color change. Because here, when we are getting ready for work, I'm changing the clothing. And I think that's when the color change is happening. Even though it shouldn't change. Set close color. So the mesh map is changed. Let's see. And then I'm setting the character mesh. Which also changes the colors for the mesh. But those should be fixed. Yeah, this should be fixed in the color data. Why is it changing the colors? Let's check that. So for Derek, for the color data, yeah, we do have top color, middle color, under color. Those are set. And they shouldn't change. That's really strange. Okay, so I know where it's happening, but I still don't know why it is happening. Because basically it shouldn't happen, that's the thing. So in here, when we set the color, I'm creating a dynamic material instance. And I think that might be the issue. I think I need to create a different set of different material here, different material instance where I can set the colors properly, not create a dynamic every time. Because here I'm just setting the vector parameter. But not for these. Yeah, I think that's the issue. That's why the clothing is changing like that. Because if I go into the behavior tree now, we are going in here and we change the clothing. And if I look at him, there, color changed. But there's another issue with this, because the get dressed and ready for work is taking way too long and is called more than once. This should only be called once. after that it should switch. But I think I'm doing this wrong here. So I'm checking if we are sleeping, and yeah, here we are checking if we are between morning and work start. So it's called more than once in a specific time frame. So it's definitely something I need to take apart and have a look at. Okay, let's remove this and let's add in the player. It should be running around in a moment. And then we have the player in here, and we can see better what's happening. Okay, so now we saw the player, but we're ignoring her completely. Yeah, just walked past and nothing happened there. Oh, welcome, Raiders from O'Connor's. How are you today? How was your stream, Oscar? I'm just trying to figure out AI issues here, and the player is completely ignored for some reason. It's going fine. I'm just trying to figure out a few AI issues in my behavior trees. And in this case, it's recognizing the player, stop for the player moment, and then doing other stuff later. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I've been busy a bit lately. I'm using blueprints and behavior trees for the AI movement and behavior. Okay. No, it's not obstacles that I have issues with at the moment. I have issues with my characters ignoring the player when they see him or her. Even though they should stop for a moment and then continue what they're doing sometimes. But we jump in and play here. Oh, now we have 2 players in here. Come on, let me move that. For some reason, sometimes I don't have control over the player, which is annoying. Okay, now I should have control. No, I don't. Okay, now I can move around. Now we have 2 players in here, which is not a good thing. And another thing is I need to fix some code here, because he's not supposed to change the color of his clothing like that. But I saw the issue in my behavior tree and in the code that's changing the color. It's a bit of a longer fix, but it works. So okay, now they saw us, but they are not stopping, or not really. But at the moment, he's doing something really strange and not really behaving like he should. So we need to wait moments until the time on the left, upper left, is at 7, and then he should be moving around properly. Okay, so now he saw us and stopped. So if we move away from his field of vision, he's completely stuck there. He saw us once and now he's completely ignoring everything else, which is not a good thing. And okay, so she's doing the same. Yeah, it's an issue I thought I had fixed, but only with hacks that kind of destroyed the rest of the system as well. So I need to completely redo the way I'm doing the behavior tree here. Because this is my behavior tree. And this is the main thing that I'm doing. I'm setting specific states here, and then I'm going to those. Basically, creating a state machine and press that in the behavior tree, which is not a bad thing, but it's creating strange behavior because I wasn't really clear when I created the whole thing. And as a result, it's a bit of a chaos. And this is the set state function here. So if our village AI controller tells us that the player is in line of sight and at a specific distance, and the player is valid, then we want to set our state to sees player. And otherwise, we're always setting the blackboard value and also the value in the character, because I'm using those for animations as well. So it's a complete chaos. I'm basically setting double the values, and I need to completely change the whole system, I think, because it's an absolute chaos. And once this is false, it's not resetting the state here. So it still has the NPC state as sees player when the line of sight is false. So it's a complete chaos. I think I need to change this as well, that I'm doing branches and if it's false, stuff like that. So I might need to completely redo this whole thing. I'm setting those states. Let's have a look. So here I'm using a use type to determine what we are doing. And here I'm using a time check. Here I'm using a time check, and here I'm also using a time check, but always with different time frames, basically, or time spans. And this down here I'm no longer using because the idle state that I had in here is no longer part of the behavior tree. Sorry about that. So maybe I need to add the idle state back in so that I can use this to kind of return to a default state, but I'm not sure. think I might need to write the whole system down and go through it piece by piece, and then figure out what makes sense in what area. Because I have different checks here. Most of this, what I'm setting in here, is time-based. Apart from if we talk to an NPC and if the NPC sees us. All the rest is time-based. And these two cases kind of break the system. So maybe I need to set those outside and only do the time-based checks in here. Let's try something. So state key is talking to player. Let's see. If I remove these from there, and then add another selector up here. Which would work on these two cases. So if these are true, it would go here. Otherwise, it would go in here. Because it's checking from left to right. So if I'm setting those two on the outside and not set them in here, then it should be okay. So let's break the connection here. Set it up there. Then I need to set these on the outside. So on the controller, we are not setting the... We are setting the scene actor here. And here we are not setting is in line of sight, but we are setting the get blackboard. And we are setting a value on the blackboard. And that's an enum. And here we have the name, and this is our state key. And here I want the make little enum. So it's not make little enum, but it's literal. Oh yeah, okay. There we go. And here we set this to cease player. But at some point I also want to have this system so that the NPC can also see other NPC characters and wave to them if they walk past them or start a conversation and stuff like that. But it's might be too much for this system, or too much for my knowledge of behavior trees and the engine. Just see if this works. We also need to set something on the character here, because if we start the if we start the conversation, then we need to start dialogue here. Do dialogue. Okay, here I'm doing the use type talk, which is controlling animations. So the interaction types controlling animations, and my AI state is controlling the behavior of the character. So I have two different systems. That should work together, but in some cases they don't. Do I have that on the controller as well? Nope. Let's set AI talking. And yeah, I want to have an input, which would be my use type. No, it's the AI state. No, NPC state, did I call it, yeah. Let's see. And PC state. There we go. And then we are basically doing this. Even though we don't need the AI state here, because we can just set this here to is talking to player. And on the character, get the controller reference. What did I call it? Set AI talking. Wait, I do have an set AI state. Oh, could have just done that. So it's talking to player, and this is okay. Yeah, that's basically doing the same, but less specific, which is a good thing. Okay. Let's see if that's working. So they saw us. Just we just wait for the right time, so they're moving around, and see if the system works then. The only issue is that it might change too fast, so in the next AI tick it would overwrite the state. Even though maybe, I'm not sure. It depends on what I set up in the behavior tree when this is aborted and stuff like that. So come on, run around. Nope, he's just standing there. Okay, so I broke the system. Yay! Awesome. Okay, let's try something else here. Let's add a decorator. Blackboard based condition. And the state key is idle. Now the thing is, they should be moving along waypoints, and they didn't do that. So here, if it's not set to either of those, we are setting it to idle. So let's go in here. And when we stop the dialog, end dialog, we are setting the AI state to idle. And if we are not in line of sight, then we're also setting this to idle. So if that cast fails, let's try this. Let's first test if that works. Okay, so he's doing the animation for talking, and now he's back to his idle mode. I think she doesn't have a connected dialogue, so we might get an issue here. Okay, so she has the wrong dialogue connected. But she still did basically the right thing. I just need to check if they are doing something else here. Nope. Okay, so he doesn't even see us anymore. Okay, so there we got a saw player, but nothing is happening. Yeah, and he's not seeing us. Okay. Things I added in the AI state so that I don't need to track a bunch of bool values that I had before. But with a bunch of bool values that were independent of each other, it kind of worked better. So that's kind of an issue here. You can also do something else here. So we can do a delay here. Once it's running completely through this, we add a delay of maybe 2 seconds, and then we set the state to idle. Okay, so now he saw us. Now we just need to wait for a moment and see if he's moving. Then again, no, I see an issue. It can't work like that, because I'm starting here, go in, and once we are in here and it changes the state. The state is no longer idle and it gets confused. So this doesn't work. Or I need to go in here, and if everything falls apart here, set this to idle. So if all these conditions here are not true, go to idle, which would start the whole thing again. Let's try this. I mean, if your system works, don't change it. Just wait and see if they're doing their thing now. Yeah, then definitely don't try to change it to something else. Just to use different tools. I wanted to work with the behavior tree, so I started with the behavior tree and didn't do anything hard-coded, basically. So okay, so that didn't work. Yeah, but the problem here is that it was broken, so I needed to fix it. Okay, so now he's moving again. And he's also changing color, but let's just ignore that. Okay, so now they're moving around again. Okay, good. What is happening if we are standing in front of them? Nothing much. Now they're stuck there. Looks like they stopped what they were doing and now something's broken. So let's have a look. Yeah, this is happening. It's still in C's player and it's trying to rotate to face the C nectar, which is not working. It's stuck there. Yeah, this is not true, so it goes here, and this was true. So that's an issue. Let's try something else. I mean, those do not work. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. I will stop as well because I'm getting tired and I need to get up early tomorrow. So don't feel bad about going. So let's try something else here, even though I don't think this works. Let's just move this over here. So it will check this here first. Okay, can't move. Okay, let's see if this is changing anything. And after that I will go as well. Okay, so she's stopping now because she saw us, so we can get closer and talk to her. Stop that and then move away. Is she getting back to her previous routine now? No, she isn't. Okay, so I still need to find a way to fix that. And I think it's simply an issue setting the right states and at the right moment, basically. So once we are no longer in line of sight, I need to make sure that I'm resetting whatever we were doing. So basically, what I tried to do was this, but that doesn't seem to work at the moment. But like I said, I need to stop for today because it's getting late. And I need to get up early. So stay in chat because I want to try to rate someone who's doing game dev as well, and then I can do that. So let's have a look. Dan is doing cooking. No, let's not do that. Let's rate Lana. Let's see. Let's do that.